settles, moonlight sharp like a blade. Tuesday club door swing, cool cats invade. Yeah, Rosie at the helm, a queen with no crown. Snaps fingers once, the whole room quiets down. Jackets leather, glasses frosted with steam. Laughter ricochets like a well-oiled machine. Dice rolling shadows, secrets drip like wax. Stylish assassins, no need to relax. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Corners dim where the whispers spark flames. Stories unravel but nobody names names. Vinyl spins and beats bounce off the walls. Saxophone crying like the street light calls. The regulars know it's not just the scene. It's a haven for the sharp, the slick, the serene. Chatter like bullets ricochet through the air. Rosie's eyes sharper than a lioness stare. No drama, no mess, just rhythm and flow. Tuesday's the day, the city, let's go. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fool, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fool, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. I got the Tuesday Mets, no light, that's the Tuesday Mets. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club.
What's up? Welcome to the Tuesday Club. It's 10:30 on a Tuesday night. Can mean only one thing. Here, your regular haunt, this speakeasy, a place where you can have your say. Everyone is welcome. No agendas, all genders. It's a hostelry for the hopeful. It is hopefully a place where football can still be fun. But tonight, I think if you support Italy, it's going to be hard for any of us to make it fun. Italy have just gone out of the World Cup qualifiers to a penalty shootout to Bosnia-Herzegovina. Calafiori will not be going to the World Cup. None of them will, obviously. And let me know in the comments how you feel about it. They had a player sent off. Bastoni was sent off in the first half after Moise Kean had put them ahead. Donnarumma performed miracles in goal all the way through, but he just could not get going. So that's the big news. That's why I was a little bit late. Forgive me. I just had to see that. Not shouting for it, but it is a big miss, isn't it? Other news of qualification, of course, fresh on the back of having managed to score 3 goals. Victor Gyökeres steps up with a third important goal tonight. Making sure that Sweden qualify over Poland. It will therefore not be Lewandowski who makes it to the World Cup. Well, I think he's been to enough now anyway. But Sweden through in the 88th minute winner. And the other news is that Czechia went east past Denmark after penalties. And Turkey have beaten Kosovo. So that's your world. And then, of course, I don't know. Do we mention it? Do we have to talk about it? The fact that England played against Japan? Man, that was a boring game. Somehow I think we'll find that's Arteta's fault. But how are you all doing? And thank you so much for being here. Hawkwind's here. You know what that means. It is a tradition, and traditions live in this pub. So that's quite a lot of music for the first few minutes. I really appreciate for being here, geezer. Hey, boss man, and all the legends in the chat. It's the Tuesday Club. Great to see you, Malia. Did you watch the England versus Japan game? To be honest with you, this is 2 England games in a row now where I just could not be bothered. Is that bad? I've also been issued a challenge by one of people that follows me on TikTok to write an England World Cup song. I'd love to get your ideas for what should be in that. Hawkwin. Mortlicky Texas is here. Malia, he says. AFC Rids with Bosh. We'll certainly need the whiskey after today's match. Need more than that. It is Bosnia to beat Italy on pens and reach the World Cup. Absolutely. Well done to Bosnia and Herzegovina. But they didn't qualify for the last one either, did they? This is heartbreaking for Italy. And I like Italy. I think we all do. Denmark also didn't qualify, correct. Landlord, says Morlicky Texas, and Malia gets a greeting from Hawkwind. We are sadly without Zanzi tonight. He is, and I'm wishing you all the best for a speedy recovery. I'm going to be doing a bit of a watch along later because Brazil are playing. I haven't watched them in ages. What else is new? Well, here's the talking points as I see them. Of course, Tottenham have ended the speculation and finally they have a new manager. They're 3rd this season, 4th this year, to take them hopefully... hopefully not. Hopefully they fail drastically. But, they've gone for Roberto De Zerbi. Let me know your thoughts on that one. That's a talking point that we're going to cover quite a lot of. I also just want to say, before I say anything else, that today is a day for reflection as much as anything. It was today, 25 years ago, that we lost Rocky. Absolutely, most of us who saw him play in that era of the George Graham sides that weren't famed or noted for their flair and talent, Rocky Rocastle was an absolute hero. A gentleman off the pitch, a warrior on the pitch. Rest in peace, Rocky Rocastle. And 25 years goes so quickly. They still sing your name at the Emirates, which is something. They did it when I was there. I haven't been that often, as you know, but it was absolutely brilliant to hear that. I'm so glad this on a Tuesday. It's the perfect lull day to do it on. I know. Well, Tuesday Club. It always just came out of the fact that I know that there's another website, not website, another. What's the word I'm looking for? Podcast called the Tuesday Club, and I'm reliably informed it's better. But it's always been Tuesday Club because it's a famous drinking club, isn't it? So the Ray Parlerinos and used to get together because they didn't have to train on a Wednesday if they didn't have a match. So they used to drink themselves silly. I'm not doing that today. I'm on the fizzy water till tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. Cheers, Dan. Can't chat because I'm double scrubbing the house. I'll be listening to... What does that mean? I'm double scrubbing the house? I'll be listening, though, so it better be entertaining. Come on, you gunners. Makuze, great to see you. And greetings, everyone. Says, Jose's here, thank goodness. Then R.I.P. Rocky, absolute legend. Rest in peace. His name will always live on. It just hit so hard. 3 kids, 3 young kids. He was only, 32, 33? By the time he gave everything for Arsenal, absolutely everything. George Graham, again, there's no way that Rocky wanted to go. But I'm sure if Mr. Tom were here, he would tell you that he's also well liked by the Leeds fans. Of course, he didn't have anything like the impact that he had for us. For me, the memory I'll always have of Rocky was in '92. At Old Trafford, takes a ball off Paul Ince and Brian Robson and chips Peter Schmeichel from 35 yards out. Might even have been more. And the ball hits the crossbar, bounces off Schmeichel and goes in. You just don't get a lot of that. That was not commonplace in the era of George Graham, I can tell you. And he always he played him largely on the right, and he always used to have to track back and defend. But an absolute, anyone who saw him, I think he's in the top 10. I became an Arsenal fan because of Rocky, R.I.P. Rocky, Morlicky, Texas. See, that's Appetite. I was just saying that as well. Like, I think anyone who saw him, he was our Brazilian-esque, our player with Latin flair, and who's, how he might have done in an Arsene Wenger side. Are you a fan of the different Knock AK the Cannon podcast? You guys would make the perfect collab. I really like. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He gets a little grief, doesn't he? What's his name? Money Penny. I really like George, who appears on that. One of my heroes. Love the way he talks about football. Very, very good podcast indeed. I listened to that one, probably that, The Athletic, and various others. Ultra cleaning like an OCD bubble. Well, it's a bit late though, isn't it? Like, can't you just put it all away for a bit? Lyrics for the World Cup song. The end. Oh, hang on. It's Royalty is here. Royalty. Salute. Miss Melina. Hi. Great to see you indeed in the chat. The Spurs-De Zerbi relationship is going to end up in tears. They didn't waste any time, did they? The Spurs Supporters Club coming out and saying that they could not endorse. I mean, literally wasn't even an hour before the Spurs fans came out and said they would not endorse De Zerbi for the fact that he took the stance he did on Ryan Mason, of course, who he managed at Marseille. This is an odd one for me because my initial reaction, I was really surprised. My initial reaction to the Spurs fans who were saying this was not a good appointment was, he's a good manager. Like, he was really good at Brighton. As we all know, I married into a Brighton family, and the father-in-law said, he liked him. I did point out, though, that he needed a translator for his first months at Brighton. He's not necessarily going to communicate brilliantly with a dressing room full of people. I think most of the Tottenham fans have to accept that it's going to be tough to mould this squad into anything other than just a salvation. It might be that West Ham have too many tough games ahead and they can't quite do it. But I want to know what you think. Do you think De Zerbi is the right man? Because obviously, look, there was a lot of speculation. And something occurred to me earlier today, was the perfect person to bring in for the short term. Not working at the moment, absolute Spurs legend. Somebody I would grudgingly say was a fantastic player, and that's not many of them. Pedigree as a manager and international manager at that. So this will come to who I would have gone for if I was Joe Lewis or whoever's Vinay Venkatesham. I mean, Agent Venkatesham. Is he doing this on purpose? Because Spurs have gone for Roberto De Zerbi. They've gone for Roberto De Zerbi, even though he tends to not stay anywhere for 2 years. He tends to fall out with everybody. He had a massive falling out at Marseille, left by mutual consent. Literally, they kind of wanted him to go after a 5-0 drubbing by Paris Saint-Germain. And you do think, like, Roberto De Zerbi, apparently there is no clause in his contract for relegation. So he's there for 5 years. He's got a 5-year contract, huge amounts of money. So, okay, I don't know. I think my first instinct is De Zerbi, good manager. He's never won anything, though. Anyway, I was looking into this, and if he emulates, if he was on 1.5 in his time at Brighton in the Premier League, he was on 1.5 points per game. And if he does that, you get 10.5 points, somewhere between 10 and 11 points in the last 7 games of the season. And you have to fancy 40 points is probably safe. I think that would be safety for them, but you never quite know. But his last 7 games at Brighton was only 5 points. And I think if he only gets 5 points in his first 7 games in charge of Tottenham, he will take them down. His last 7 games at Marseille, 10 points. I don't know. I don't know if this is the guy. I'm starting to doubt my initial question. Now, a lot of people were saying that they should bring in Sean Dyche, and as funny as that would have been, how funny would that Tottenham having to put up with Sean Dyche? But Sean Dyche is getting money from his time at Nottingham Forest. He's unlikely to sign a short-term contract. He would have wanted a long-term contract as well, and there was no appetite for giving Sean Dyche the long-term job. So in terms of who they could have brought in, who I think would have done a job, would have galvanised this squad, would have given... Because I don't think De Zerbi does that. I don't think he comes in... He's not an immensely popular person with squads he's had. There are very few people they could find to come out and actually say really nice things about him. He's got to come into this... he gets 10 days before their next game to galvanise this squad. Many of whom know they're leaving whatever happens. And have been playing like they just don't care. He's got to do better than Igor Tudor, I'd say that. But this first game is Sunderland. It's going to be a really fascinating one. But he's going to come in and galvanise the squad. And I just don't think he wants to stay if they're in the Championship. So, well, let me know what you think. But I did think earlier today, do you know who'd have missed the trick? They could have brought him in. He's not working at the moment. Jurgen Klinsmann. That's who you bring in. That's who all the players look at and think, yeah, okay. That gives a bit of fun, and I don't know what you expect. They've got the players. Tottenham are not going down because they don't have good players. They've got players in every position that are decent. I mean, wasn't it just a year ago, less than a year ago, we were hearing from all of the Tottenham fans that Van de Ven and Romero was a better centre-back partnership than Gabriel and Saliba. Destiny Udogie, Judd Spence, Gray, Bergvall. There's players all over the place. Up front, Dominic Solanke signed for about as much as we paid for Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres, who will be at the World Cup. Solanke, I'm not sure. What about Palhinha? A really good player. I know he didn't get a game time at Bayern Munich, but a really good player for Fulham. It's an odd one. They're not going down because they haven't got players. They're going down because they haven't got a fight. Is De Zerbi the man to instill it? That's the question. I'm in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Ain't even had supper yet. Do you know what? My favourite thing about Denver, we were driving to Vegas, and as soon as we hit the Rockies, which are amazing, we broke down. And we had Blue Star, or whatever it was called. And so this guy came in a tow truck within minutes. We'd only broken down. And he was driving us, towing the car into Denver, and he was telling us a story. Him and his girlfriend had been on their way to California from Chicago, I think from Ohio. I don't know which part. And they broke down, and this is not something you want to hear from a tow truck. And it's like, well, when was that? And he was like, 4 years ago. It's like, well, how come you didn't end up going to California? He goes, because we broke down in winter, and you just can't get out Colorado in winter. But I loved it. Only spent a day there, but really lovely. Beautiful mountains. If De Zerbi fails to keep them up, would the blame lie on him or the players as common denominator? Yeah, I mean, how do you... Look, if this was a challenge on Football Manager, keep Spurs up, you'd expect... Look, honestly, it could be as straightforward as West Ham just don't win enough games, right? But it's so close at the moment. I think I'm adding my thoughts to what everyone else is thinking, right? Like West Ham are a point behind. If they could get 7 points, do I see Tottenham getting 6 points? I don't know. I honestly don't know. What do you guys think? I think this is an almost impossible challenge. But like I said, not because of anything else, but just because of the fact that the players seem to have given up. There's so many of them that just seem like they're on their way, right? In case anyone wants to jump on and have a say, and as I said, no Zanzi. But if he's watching, I hope he is watching in replay. Get well soon. Get lots of rest, mate. Gary's here. Hello. Gary, if you want to join me, please do. And I'm waiting for the De Zerbi out social media post when it goes sour with the combustible. It's already happened. Mortlicky, Texas, I'm here to tell you the Spurs Supporters Association have already released a statement saying they cannot get behind De Zerbi because of his attitude to Ryan Mason. Not because he's frankly not the guy to do the job. I mean, I've suggested Jurgen Klinsmann. Love to know who any of you guys would suggest or recommend. Flybury, greetings all. Great to see you, sir. Would De Zerbi be able to handle egos in the Spurs team? Would anyone? The lack of snow this year has been record-breaking on the negative end. Very concerning. Winter did not come here. If you're ever back in Denver, Colorado, we're great. Absolutely. The only thing I will say is, it was my first experience of light beer. The car went to a garage, and we were next door in a pub. And my friend Theo went up to the bar, came back with a pitcher of beer. I tasted it and said, "Oh, you're gonna have to take that back. They've watered that down. That's been tampered with." So he was like, "Oh, what? Oh, man!" He did his best New York. Went up there, kicked off a little bit. They gave him a fresh pitcher. Came back with it. I tasted it again and was like, "No, that's still, man. I'd have to put some in the pipes." He's like, I watched them draw it. It was like, "I'm telling you, this is water. This isn't beer." And then he tasted it and he was like, "No, that's what it's supposed to taste like." Your light beers out there, just disgraceful. As Monty Python famously referred to them, like sex in a canoe, fucking close to water. Boy Tendio says Spurs are going down. Right, I have, and why? What has happened at Spurs? I think I may have the answer. Indulge me. I have a little video clip for you to watch. It's not music. Please enjoy this.
You were certainly not appointed to succeed. However, you were expected to provide the illusion of progress, and you removed it. It was more difficult than anticipated, with the players available. We lost some difficult matches. You lost all of them. Even Ryan Mason achieved a higher win rate.
I'm happy to step in again if required.
We do not seek failure. Failure ends hope. Our project requires instability, confusion, progress without outcome, hope followed by inevitability. Do you understand what happens to this project if they stop believing? We cannot allow relegation. This project is at a critical juncture. Who do you propose to take over now? We have admittedly had to act quickly, but we think we may have the perfect candidate. Highly volatile, idealistic, with previous success, but no silverware. That's good. I don't want another repeat of the Postecoglou debacle. I think we can say that's highly unlikely with this hire. Roberto De Zerbi, an excellent choice, and no doubt not a cheap one either.
Spectre. I'm having too much fun on my time off, let me tell you. The light beers, here we go. The light beers are disgraceful. Now we have nothing but microbrews, which are all too thick and like 13%. I would probably prefer that. But I used to get laughed at for going at the World Series of Poker. There was a Milwaukee light tent where you could get free beer. They just walk in and they give you free beer. And I would always go in there and order a Heineken. And they'd go like, "I have to charge you for Heineken." I was like, "Yes, you do. But I'm not drinking that. I'm not even brushing my teeth with that stuff. Sorry, Milwaukee Light." Evening Gooner, says Nathan. Evening, Nathan. And here we have Ange killed Spurs by winning them a trophy. The debacle. Ange Postecoglou. Yo, says JB Smithington. How the dickens are you? JB Smithington, hope you're well. And Spurs are shit. Who do you think is shit? Somebody in the comments. Also, I saw with interest this guy. I want to cover this. There's always a stick to beat Arsenal with. The narrative is always something we've done to upset everybody, right? So here we are. This is I had to look him up. This is you may know him. Gabi Abject Boar. Nah, it's Gabi Bonglahor. Here we go. This is what he has to say recently.
It's the next league game available if you miss the next league game available if you pull out of international duty. I just think when there's so many from one team pull out, I get it. Selfishly, you want to go and win all these trophies now. Yeah. Didn't turn up against Man City. You're looking at the Southampton game and thinking, want everyone fit and available. But I'm looking as a player who played for their country. It's not a good look, mate. It's really not. I pulled out of a lot of squads as a player. Some because of managers, maybe like we've got big games coming up and blah blah blah, and pull out. And I regret it, Ali. Yeah. I really regret it. I would have had a lot more caps than 3. I would have got to maybe 4 caps. No, I'm joking. But I would have got a lot more caps if I didn't pull out so many squads. And I think this is something that Harry Kane should speak out about England captain, because
It's just, you know what? It does my head in. Like, he's talking about Arsenal players withdrawing from the England squad. Thomas Tuchel, in his press conference, made the point. He said they wanted to play. They actually wanted to play. They turned up. They wanted to play, but the England physios, the medical department, said that it wasn't worth it, that the game against Japan could injure them, could be a longer-term injury, and with games that they have coming up, it's probably not fair to them. But they turned up. They didn't withdraw. They would, and if they did, if this is bullshit, if it is just made up, then it's nothing to do with Arsenal. It's the England doctors that, right? So here's the thing. Martin Zubimendi played 13 minutes for Spain. He has some discomfort in his right knee. We're not sure. Pedro Hincapié was injured playing for Ecuador. Leo Trossard is precautionary. Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka, as we've just established, were sent home by the England physios, by the England team. Not because they didn't fancy playing, not because they didn't go. And Gabby Bonlo, as if you turned down 3 caps he had, as if he turned down many caps. Don't be silly. I'm going to get to light biz in a second. Then we've got Noni Madueke, who played and got injured. Eberechi Eze didn't play the League Cup final, so he's clearly injured. William Saliba, I think he played and then pulled out with discomfort. That's the France national team. Martin Odegaard hasn't been fit this year, pretty much. Gabriel Magalhaes with a pain in the knee. Julian Timber, who also was injured beforehand. And, of course, Mikel Merino. What are they talking about? What are they talking? What's Gabby Agbonlahor doing? Do you know what? Every time I see him, he's got something to say about Arsenal. Why? What? I tell you why. Because you get clicks. Slag off Arsenal, you get clicks. You get mentioned. I mean, I would never mention Gabby. I don't remember him. I vaguely remember he played for Villa, and I vaguely remember he scored goals occasionally. Got a couple of runners-up medals, and I think the League Cup and the FA Cup. I couldn't swear to it, though. Can't people just have iced tea instead of 0% beer? This is a really good point, Boytendio. I don't understand. Like, people say, I've heard a couple of people more recently saying that they really like the Guinness 0.0 or whatever it is. Just have a Guinness. You know, if you really can't drink alcohol, do you want to remind yourself of what it tastes like? I mean, if you're, let's say, you're one of the 12 steppers, or I don't get it. The light beers are all right. What's become popular is the 0% beers. No. What's more pointless, a 0% beer or Spurs? I'm good, can't stay, but we'll see you soon. And no one's staying. It's a Tuesday. It's an interlull. You've all got all these things going on. Maybe we'll just have a short show. But I'm glad you all made it here. It's really appreciated. Shut up, Gabby. They aren't being pulled out of the World Cup qualifiers or something. Do you know what? First of all, they're not important games. Thomas Tuchel was very certain about this. He was very confident in saying that they wanted to play, but it didn't make any sense at all for them to play, and they could have, niggle. Now, there are certain various elements of our Gluminati fan base, and I think you have to agree with people where they make really good points. So people I've heard saying that it's clear that we're overplaying players. Declan Rice was mentioned. I think the argument was he's going to play 4,000 minutes this season. That, I've felt, as I'm sure most of us have for some time, that we do play these players a bit much. Declan Rice has played too many minutes, I think, this season. But it's difficult, isn't it? When do you leave him out? What do you leave him out of? He's such an important player for us. But yeah, he has played 3,474 minutes in 44 matches. It will probably be, another 10 games. If he does play another 10 games, he will have played more minutes than he has in any of the previous 4, all of which he's played over 4,000 minutes. It's too many minutes, no question about that. He's really important, and we haven't played Norgard enough. So the argument from some of the gloomier elements is that what you're seeing is when these players go off to play with the national team, they get sent back because the national team doctors are doing the proper job, whereas the Arsenal doctors are just letting these people play. If that's true, I don't know. But look, I can't say it isn't. I definitely think that the fact that Saka and Declan Rice were not selected, even though they really wanted to play tonight, God, we could have done with them. Does suggest that they're carrying knocks and niggles. And we do have the game. I'm not necessarily expecting either of them to be ready to play Southampton, although it'd be nice to have them on a bench because I could see that could be quite a close game. But certainly for the Sporting away game, we want to get past Sporting. We want to get to the semi-finals. WTF. Go and have a wank, Gabby. You'll be sensible afterwards. It's well said there. We got good pull-out game. Let them hate. Yep, we've got a good pull-out game. I don't think it's as... First of all, I know it's got nothing to do with Mikel Arteta because you cannot, as a club manager, you cannot actually stop players going. And these players all went to the international squads. Brazil are playing later today. I haven't actually looked who's in the squad for that. But Kellyan Andretsen, hello from Orkney. Wow, wonderful to have you here. A part of the world I have never visited, but really, really would like to. Gluminati are expert level spin doctors. It's really easy, isn't it? If you've got an agenda, if you've got to find... England tonight, really boring game. That's Arteta's fault. And then you just got to figure out how. Just figure out how it's Arteta's fault. But certainly... whether you're necessarily very gloomy or not, right? I do think, and I have said this for a couple of years, that we do not rotate enough. There are a number of players in our squad that play far too much. Previously, Saliba and Saka. I don't buy all this. The idea that Saka's past his best and will never be as good again. His prime years are still to come, and he's still getting picked by Thomas Tuchel and the England doctors. So I think there's a lot of negativity around Arsenal, but I don't think we're definitely involved in pulling these players out. It didn't help that Southgate would flog Rice for 90 minutes in friendlies against countries that only just heard of football. Yep, that's a very fair point, isn't it? Like Rice was picked for everything. I didn't mention also Ethan Nwaneri scored at least one goal for the England under-21s. He might have scored... Actually, he did score two. We ended up winning 4-1 against Moldova. It's looking very good for the England under-21 side for a three-peat. Could it be? They said... Oops, hang on. They said, what now? The medical team doctors are better than the Arsenal medical team. Now, what they're saying is that Arteta hears that they're not fit and he goes, I don't care. You have to play anyway. And the player's like, please don't make me play. And he's like, no, you must play. Yeah. Don't know what I was doing there. Am I doing an accent? Too many meaningless international competitions, all about revenue and not the welfare of players or their employers. Stuart Bell, very well said. Good to see you. Make sure you've all clicked like, by the way. Yeah, listen, all these are meaningless. Who cares? Honestly, who cares if we beat Japan or lose to Japan? It was a very boring game. Football just seems to have got boring. One of the things I would say might be that we're watching too much football. Is there too much football? Is there such a thing? My spin is 20% to the east. Good evening, Dan. Hope you're well. Victor scored the winning goal for Sweden as they beat Poland 3-2 to qualify for the World Cup. Richard Andrews, yes, he did, in the 88th minute, no less, to go with his hat-trick. It's great news, isn't it? I'm really pleased for him. It's what... I love the guy's attitude. And seeing him banging goals, I know people have always talked about he's got a decent goal-scoring record for Sweden, but it has been mostly against Estonia. Yeah, I think he played Estonia 3 times. Now, again, Poland are not necessarily tier 1 opposition, but they are a good side. And the hero of his nation, Roy of the Rovers stuff, indeed. Gyökeres is impersonating Roy of the Rovers again. Love it, love it, love it. Really pleased for him. He's been isn't he what you want from all players? Desperate to sign for Arsenal, desperate to put the shirt on, plays his heart out whenever he can. It's a problem when Pep is playing Bernardo Silva every game for 7 seasons in a row. No, it's not a problem. No, to be fair, look, I'm not necessarily here defending some of the gloomier elements of our fan base, but Pep does rotate better. It very rarely gets to the number of minutes that that Arteta has. And in the past, it was always, I think, fair to say that he'd had to play that many minutes in the top players because we didn't have a deep enough squad. This season, we've had a deeper squad, but we've had to play more minutes because we've been so much more successful in every cup competition. And I know we lost the League Cup final, and it was shit. Doesn't mean we've lost the league, though. Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Hope you're subscribing to the Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Absolutely brilliant channel. Ryan, great to see you. Way too much football. We fully agree. If you want to pop on, I can repost the link. No, Zanzi. I am missing Zanzi. I haven't seen bad audio, Bobby. It's me on my own tonight. Maybe if you all type in something, I can get one of the others to come on with me. But yeah, Gabby Agbong Lahore. Keep your name out of our mouths. Nope. Keep our name out of your mouths. Ryan De Zerbi. Where are we up to? What have we still got to discuss? The key things for me were the signing of Roberto De Zerbi. I don't see this as a great... I'm not sure. Football is very competitive at any level, never mind the elite ones. Yeah, listen, how about if it is an international, it is a rule that you cannot stop someone going to their international team, and if called up, the international squad has the right to decide whether or not they're fit. So it's not, you can't just take a note from Mikel Arteta and go, sorry, I've got a bad foot. You have to actually, they check you out. They make sure that you do or don't. And as a result, we know that this is not, it's not just black. He's not just making stuff up. He's not just saying, you know, my players aren't fit. We have got a lot of players out. We also have a lot of players who've played too many minutes. I mean, that list of players, Zubimendi, how many minutes has he played? He's played almost the same number of minutes as Declan Rice, I would imagine. Got to be around there. And he's another one who's played thousands of minutes every season. Noni Madueke was injured playing for England, so I think that rules him out of this. Who is he talking about, actually? Because Ben White played. Mars Lewis-Skelly played in the under-21s as well. So we had 3 players represented in the under-21s. Was a really good victory for them. Ethan Wanyeri, I just still think we shouldn't have let him go, right? Absolutely don't think we should have let him go on loan to Marseille. And who else is he talking about? Who are other Arsenal players pulled out of England duty? And it's happening everywhere, by the way. I think a lot of England fans would have been... I mean, also, who cares? You know, like maybe played it. We know that Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice are in the World Cup squad, right? Let's not be silly. They're definitely playing, and the probability is they're definitely even though that, you know, Saka is is spent force and will never be as good again. Saka's going to be in the World Cup squad, and he's going to be starting. Declan Rice, Rolls Royce, cheap at twice the price. He's in the England squad. Although I do, you know, every time I see Kobe Mainu, I do think he's a very good player. The days of the magic sponge are long gone. Yeah. The days, although this did make me think, because you obviously reminded me of how it used to be when players would have to literally be near death's door to be even treated to the magic sponge, and they played in heavier pitches. There weren't this many long-term injuries, and some of these injuries that we're seeing, I mean, there's a lot of knee injuries at the moment, which you would guess, and I'm certainly not passing myself as any kind of I'm certainly not a medical expert. Imagine if you needed me to tell you that. Yeah, so I'd prescribe 4 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, and you'll be feeling right as rain. That's not a prescription for you, by the way, Xander. You get loads of sleep. Here we go. I'm going to read this. Sack Arteta to save football and arse. Make many of the players Take a bit longer next time. You can write a long one. Many of the players that are injured right now will be back for sporting game because actually fit is different than Arteta fit, i.e. as you aren't in a coma, you're playing. Right. Okay. This is what I was saying. Thank you for bringing it up. This is what the haters of Arteta will say. And I've already said my bit. I think we do overplay some players. But are you saying you don't think that they should play for Sporting? Thomas Tuchel, to be fair, said that they just needed a couple of days. He didn't say they were unfit. Now, I mean, like, Thomas Tuchel's lying, the England physios are lying, the players themselves are lying, and Arteta's lying. And the reality is, if you ask Saka and Declan Rice and Noni Madueke looks like he might not make it. But if you ask any of them if they want to play against Sporting in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, they'll say yes. So I don't know if it's Arteta fit as in you have to be in a coma. Does Arteta play people through injury? I think he might do, you know. But I think they're complicit and so is the medical team. I'm probably petty, but the banter took a whole new level of shithousery with the newest LGBT. Okay. Right, Jose, I'm not beyond mentioning this. I love the catch. Right, and that was that. I watched it. It came out this morning. I'm not working at the moment. Came on, and guy, he did not hold back at all, did he? He's gone straight in there with every conceivable, everything that's ever been rumored about Lee, and yeah, it's funny to me that some of the people like. That are saying, oh, I can't believe diss tracks have entered football. Why not? Like, football discourse, it is a lot of it. When it comes to these arguments, right? A lot of people saying that catch up are clout chasing. They're not. I don't think he is at all. I think he's just come into it and he's just seen this guy behaving like a dickhead. And he's gone, why doesn't anyone ever call this one out and tell him? One, like the guy's obviously drunk and he's in the song, and I'm not suggesting this is true, but in the song, in the diss track, I gotta look old there, don't I? In the diss track, he talks about the fact that Lee Gunner's on substances to hide his pain, substance that rhymes with pain, and I don't know. Like, it does look like it. As somebody who spent years on the stuff, I have seen that. And he's drunk and he's selling merch for 115 quid, etc., etc. So listen, I'm not above discussing it. I think it's better to stay out of it. I think if you're Lee Gunner, he spent 8 hours on a stream going in on Catch, and then deleted the stream that he threatened doxing. And I think if you're going to do all that, you should expect some fallback. But the other thing here is actually it's a really good track. I'm not going to play it. But do check it out. What's it called again? Like, it's called... Gonna have to look it up, aren't I? But it is a good track. It's a good track in of itself, right? So the fact that it's got some absolute killer lines in there, it is a 1-2 knockout blow. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Catch. I like how he is. I like what he says. It feels real to me. And I think... much as I'd like to be above all the gossip, I think it's part of being in a community, isn't it? There are elements of our community of constantly going in on each other. I've done a few little videos taking the piss out of people. I don't mind if people come back at me. In fact, the reality is, unless people are hating on you, you're not really doing it right, are you? So Catch is cooking Lee Gunner. It's definitely not a fair fight, is it? If anyone watched Lee Gunner's 8-hour, which Catch then featured on a follow-up, chefing him up, all the cuisine, hot and cold. I'm here for it. Seriously, the amount of nonsense I've seen to get away with cause he's got a bunch of beta orbiters for subscribers. Is that I've started calling them standards. That's my phrase for them, because they come around and they're always defending this guy in everywhere his name is uttered, and they are just like the little stands that just like, it's all right, man. Standards and their standards. I'm doing my own song. You can tell, can't you? This is well earned. Yeah, totally. Karma has a long ass memory, a spiteful edge, and one terrible sense of humor. We can call it if we've seen it exactly, Dan. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to, I think if you're going to put yourself on a stream 8 hours and constantly go off to the toilet and come back and be chatting that way and be drunk and be a dickhead to everybody. This is a guy, by the way, that laughed about somebody's family unaliving themselves, I think is a term I have to use. This is a guy who said you should punch someone in the colostomy bag. This is a guy who, everything is fair game to this guy. And then here you are. Stand hard. He didn't delete the stream. YouTube did. Bullshit. Bullshit. No, it didn't. No, it did not. If YouTube was deleting some of his streams, it would have deleted others. Nah, he woke up the next morning. Oh, fuck, what have I done? He's getting calls from everyone. Jez has abandoned him. And I think Jez is right to. And I know, like, I'm not trying to stir up shit. Jez, still good friends with him, just doesn't want to be on YouTube with him anymore. I think you'll see that. I think that his life is unraveling in the same way everybody's does. If you the thing I find the funniest is he's always saying he's not drunk. Why are drunk people always saying they're not drunk? It's like when you wake up, you've just woken up and someone says, "Were you asleep?" You go, "No." Even if there's no reason to lie about it. It's just like, if you've sat there for 18 hours drinking 20 beers and you're not drunk, change your brand, man. What are you doing? Are you on the zeros? How are you not drunk? And how is that cool to not be drunk after 18 cans of beer? It's the sort of thing that young people lap up. It's just like this broosphere, you know, like, oh, he knows, oh, he's having the best life ever. Really? I've seen the downfall in real time, unfortunately. It is horrible, man. It is horrible to listen. I've reached my lows, you know. I'm not judging that. I mean, I was in my place when drugs and booze get hold of you, and you know, if your life is a bit empty or you know, I'm glad I'm the other side of it. Not everyone makes it the other side. I lost some good friends. Mel says hi to BX Gunner. It's great to have you, Jose. When are you ever going to jump on a stream with me? You know, you're the original OG as well. You're the first one that was here. He is a human form of you can dish it out, but can you take it? Well, it's not even, listen, I don't know if Lee Gunner can't take it. I don't think he can. I mean, he was a royal mess when it happened last time. But it's the fact that all of these little stantards that come out and go, Lee is great. Lee's brilliant. Lee's totally chefing him. What, by repeating himself over and over again, mumbling? Nah, man. Like, don't take on someone like Catch either, because he is. I mean, just the diss tracks alone, but actually watching him go through it live, he's hysterically funny. Massive love to you, Catch, if you're watching. LG got spooked at the potential legal ramification of that stream staying up. Yeah. See what I mean, though? Like, people coming in here going, no, YouTube took it down. Why would YouTube take it down, but didn't take down the one where he was mocking people who'd committed or unalived themselves? Where he was talking about violence? Nah. Sandy, great to see you. Evening, Dan. Evening, everyone. Where are we? I would also not be drunk if I had liver cirrhosis. I don't know. Does that work that way? I mean, I was a heavy boozer, so you'd never see me drunk. But I've been in lots of pubs and situations with guys drinking like Lee and, you know, it's just boring, man. Dutch courage, it's just boring. I don't know how he's as popular as he is, because people keep telling me he's spitting facts and he knows what he's doing, etc., etc. But you know what? I haven't heard him say anything factual for a bit. He seems a male form of women's scorn, but this woman was Arsenal and Robbie. Interesting. I like it. Well, I think the other thing that is really funny, and this is, you know, from Lee Gunner's lips himself. He waited for Arteta, a grown-ass man waiting for an autograph off Arteta, and he didn't give him one. And so now it's just, I've never liked him. It's like, maybe, I don't know. Stuart, it's a very quick habit to slip into, and usually the last one to admit it. Well, I mean, like, I found it easier to admit to having a problem with alcohol than I did sniff. That was like that was a tough one. That was a long time. Listen, I'm not. I have no preach in me whatsoever. You got to live your life. But what I would say, if anyone's asking my opinion, stay the hell away. Stay the hell away. Like, if you need to drink every day, something's not right. It's not, it's a toxin. It's not good for you. And if you're just doing I mean, like, Catch is always saying he does his live stream sober, and he's right. Like, he's funnier sober. I bet Lee Gunner's a nice bloke deep down. I think he's just gotten himself pigeonholed into this angry, this kind of weird caricature of himself. No, I have no idea if liver cirrhosis stops people getting drunk, but if one has liver cirrhosis, then I don't think they get drunk easily. I think it depends, because you can get cirrhosis of the liver because of high fat, so it can be obesity related as well. But if you have cirrhosis of the liver because you drink too much, then let's face it, your tolerance for alcohol is already massively high. I had no idea how many units of alcohol were in anything, but I went to the dentist when I was about 34, right at the peak of my drinking, and he asked me how many units of alcohol I drank. And I was like, I don't know, what's a unit? And he said, well, a pint is, I think, 2 units. Might be making that wrong, but anyway, so I was like, well, I have 12 pints of Guinness a day, a bottle of... at this point in my life, I was drinking a bottle of spirits and 12 pints of beer, and usually a couple of other bits and pieces and other things during the day. And he was like, well, that's a lot. And you drink that every week? And I was like, no, that's every day. That's the first time anybody really sort of... Lee Gunner might never have liked Arteta, but I don't think Arteta's... I think he does. Do you know what? I disagree. Boytendia, I think he knows he exists. I worry about things like this as well, because these players will admit they know. It's a world we live in now where the criticism is just so full on. It is so full on. Drugs and alcohol just pave over the cracks until it collapses. Yes. The reality is that you always seek to... people aren't distracting themselves from happiness. No one is taking drugs and drinking too much because their life is fantastic. It's a good question. In your opinion, what's a healthy frequency to drink? The health aspect of it is there is no safe amount of alcohol that is a toxin. There is literally no amount of alcohol that's a good, safe amount. I know there's been a lot of misconceptions around this, but you can look into this. However, everything in moderation except moderation. So look, I'm not here to tell anyone when to drink. I will have... I had a couple of beers on Sunday night. I might go a month without drinking and have a few beers at a social event. I would say, your life. If you're drinking because it's social and you like it, or you might like the taste or anything like that, a little bit here or there. But as soon as you're drinking every single day, morning, noon and night, you need friends around you, man. But then even saying that, I had friends around me and there's nothing anyone could do to stop me. The units of alcohol are measured per regular serving. A shot, can of beer, glass of wine, they're all 1 unit of alcohol. If any health professional wants to know some of your habits. All right. Yeah, so I think it came to, I said I must be on about 30 units a day. And no one ever really saw me drunk. I was just miserable. I was just really miserable. And I was partying every day, and I was, I had nothing, and I was sad, and I get it. So I'm not preaching, I'm not judging, and if anybody can say they've been through it, I definitely have. It's great when you survive and have some good stories to tell, but not all of us have the eureka moment. No, not all of us survive it either. I've lost good friends to all kinds of ridiculous events that were caused by alcohol. I'm not sure how the unit of alcohol measurement works for cocktails and the like. Yeah, I wasn't drinking cocktails. It was literally Sambuca. I would let everything. I went one summer, we changed from beer to cider. That was fun. It was a lovely hot summer. But it wasn't just that. It was everything. The problem with capitalizing off of outrage culture is that once the following is there, you better become the binger of outrage they expect. He's a sacrificial lamb. Makuzi, what a brilliant comment. I totally agree with you. I think that it's like anyone. It's like when you get attention for behavior, what social media does is it gives you a little bit of that kind of wanting to feel seen, wanting to be seen, wanting to feel seen. And if you behave in a certain way, if you behave in outrage, you get more views, more clicks, more likes, more fans. And so, like I've said this before, but outrage, hate, and anger travels at warp speed, whereas calmness stands still. No one's interested if you say, Arteta may be playing the players a bit too much. You might, everyone wants the polarized opinion and the shout. And then when you end up doing that, and that's what people expect from you. I mean, if you turn Lee Gunner on and he was just sitting there soberly going, do you know what? I really hope we win the league this season. I think if we do, I have to say, Mikel Arteta, I might not like him and I wish he'd signed that autograph, but I still think, respect to him, it's never going to happen. Because people flock to him because they're unsure of their own opinions. They want someone who's absolutely certain and rapidly shouting about it. Typing in all caps is psycho behavior. It can also just be you forgot caps lock. I've done that in my time. But at 18 to 21, binge drinking I get, but binge drinking in your 40s is more like a midlife crisis adding to the packet. I'm just guessing Lee's. Well, yeah, I agree. Listen, my problems were in my mid-30s. I was much better. Yeah, by the time 35, I think was my crisis point. I lost everything. I lost a lot of money in one day, and I lost a relationship. I didn't have lots of reasons to want to escape, but I found this party culture and we go out every night and hang around with people all day, and it took my mind off it, because what you don't want to do is sit there and go, shit, what next? What am I doing with my life? He needs to put on watch so he doesn't hurt himself. It can all go upside down fast. Yeah, I'd hate to think that. I'd hate to think that anything happened. You just don't want to see it, right? You don't want to see it. But the biggest problem I've seen in my life and in other people's life is you have to admit it to yourself first, and doesn't really happen. I survived and completely changed my ways 15 years ago now. Surrounded yourself with the people who make you love life without substance. Wonderful. Great to hear. Same here. I suddenly found a whole group of people who I think it really helped. I was able just to go, I'm broken. I was able to say to a group of people I met, I am useless and I'm broken and I am hurting and I'm shit. And they were like, no, you're not too bad. And then we built back up from there. And I'm so thrilled with, life can, whatever I'd say is, however far down the pit you think you are, there is always hope. Last thing I want to hear is something tragic over YouTube. Yeah. And it's not what any of us want. Like, none of us really, when you can talk about other people you dislike and stuff, I don't hate anyone, because life's too short, right? And I wouldn't want to see anything bad happen to anybody. A misconception, being very positive about Arsenal is what gets views. Why so many people on YouTube like Terry Fleurs do it. Talking about Arsenal gets you views, definitely, but talking positively about Arsenal, well, I don't know, man. Like, I think ultimately what gets you views is content that people like. And I think the streams we've had most success with have always been when something shit's happened to Arsenal. So I don't know. I don't know what you're basing that on, by the way. Because Terry Fleurs just talks about Arsenal, because talking about Arsenal, is it always good, positive stuff he's talking about? Usually addressing some comment made about Arsenal by someone like Gabby Agbonglahor. What are you basing this and when you say something is a misconception, isn't it possible that you're misconceiving it? What is not argued by facts can be dismissed without. What is not argued with facts can be dismissed without facts. You're basically saying that the most popular YouTube channels are the ones that don't rage bait. Don't buy it. Sorry. Just talking about Arsenal gets clicks. Get over it. Everyone can do it. Exactly. I'm doing it. It's one of those things, isn't it? Typing in caps is all fun sometimes. Listen, on the whole thing, right, of what gets clicks and what doesn't, I think you have to. I don't. Whatever Lee Gunner, whatever his appeal is, he is good at what he does. He's made a living out of talking about Arsenal. There's obviously, he knows his shit as well. You can say what you like about Lee Gunner, but he definitely knows his Arsenal. I mean, he has some out there opinions, but doesn't everyone? He's got a few hear me outs that are head scratchers, but fair enough. Jose says, I quit binge drinking 5 years ago, and man, it was a great decision. It is a great decision. I think as you get older, to be fair, I think as you get older, most of us suddenly realise, you know, I can't do this anymore anyway. For me, it was actually being I wasn't homeless. I had a place to stay, but I had nothing. I'd lost a lot of money. I lost my online gaming company. I didn't have any friends who weren't party animals. Didn't have a partner. No, nothing. You get to a point. If I'd have carried on, I don't know how long I would have been able to carry on. Really. Henry got bullied by LG for doing Arsenal content, and the Gremlins jumped on board. He does do a lot of it, though, doesn't he, for a Spurs fan? Like, I mean, and it is a kind of, there is an archetype to it as well. It's like, I'm so worried. It's like, stop worrying so much. I saw Northside LDN, Northside London, fucking hysterical on Sunday. He was swearing in Portuguese like crazy. I can't even take a day off, and they do. I can't even remember what it is. I think it was something to do with the injuries. I honestly don't remember what he was so upset about on Sunday. But you kind of think to some of these people who are perpetually angry, looking like they're forming hemorrhoids as they shout into their microphones, it's just maybe take a day off. Maybe don't watch football for a bit. It's not having a good effect on you. I mean, there are people who literally every single day you see them, they're pissed off. It's the correct position to be positive about Arsenal currently, though. Yeah, I think. Yes, and I've had my own interesting conversations. I can't really call them conversations in chat with people who say, "I can't believe you actually think we're going to win the league this year." And I think, yeah, no, I do. I really do. I really do think we're going to win the league this year. well, how can you say that when there was someone in the comments said, how can you say that we've just lost to Man City in the League Cup? It's like, because it doesn't count towards it. If we get a draw at the Etihad, it is over. And even if we don't, even if we don't get a draw at the Etihad, what's the most points they can finish on? 85. So 5 wins from the remaining 7, 2 defeats. If we get a draw there, it's only 4 wins we need. International break, Arsenal Anonymous meeting in your local pub. Honestly, I've just got over the final. That deep. Me too, man. To be honest with you, I don't think I took it as badly as everyone else. But it was a shit feeling. And this is what I hate about the hierarchy of, where people go, I've been called out before for not being as upset as everyone else. Like, oh, this guy doesn't care about Arsenal. It's like, grow up. When you're telling me how much I care about Arsenal, you're wasting your time. That's weird, bro. Saying being very positive about Arsenal gets views. That was not the case when things were tits up sideways at Arsenal. Yeah, AFTV would not. I'm not digging into Robbie Lyle. I think he's a hero. An innovator, a media mogul. And for me, I know not everyone agrees with me, I really like him and I liked his content for years. But I don't think he'd have had the success without the Wenger out, without the. If he'd been going around outside the Emirates and everyone going, yeah, it's all right, it's good, it's not bad, it's not a great season, hopefully we'll do better. If he'd do that, then I think probably AFTV isn't as well regarded or as well viewed. Back then, you got views by saying shit show at Arsenal. You do. And all of the most viral clips of Arsenal were about people shouting their shit. They were like, it's a disgrace. I mean, it's the same words now as a word. And because people have very limited vocabularies, it seems to me. Like saying something is a disgrace is a misunderstanding of disgrace. Saying something is disgusting is a misunderstanding of the word disgusting. I think what we're all trying to express when we're disappointed, let's say League Cup final, fucking irritating. It's just so disappointing. It's frustrating. It's, you lift yourself up for a cup and then that happens. But disgusting, disgraceful? No, not really. Whoa, it's almost like things have changed. Whoa, fucking magic. Oh my God. I'm trying so hard to remain sane. Don't give in to it. Oh, ramen. Yes, make ramen. I love ramen. I have a ramen addiction, frankly. I'm not even actually. Do you know what? I could say that with a straight face, because I could live off the stuff, especially the packet ones, the sort of prison food. Hey, caps matter too. Stuart Bell quality comments says. Now I'm into binge thinking. Wicked statement. Actually, that can just be harmful. Wicked statement. Binge thinking. Mate, that's getting written down. I'm nicking that. I'll give it a couple of weeks and I'll be using it like I made that up. Well done, Makuzi. Binge thinking. Is that I've never heard that before. I bet everyone else has actually heard it. Binge thinking. That's what we're here for, right? It's a pub full of binge thinkers. It's definitely a thing. I love it. All the Gluminati are permanently passing a kidney stone. I'd be pissed off all the time too. It is. It's just that kind of. Well, we were talking about it on Sunday, weren't we? All the zesty and all the words they use, and I think it's just for a lot of them, it gives you the impression that they've not had a lot of attention in their lives, and now they're getting it, and they don't want to let it go. And you're not going to suddenly change and be all cheerful one morning. But I do wonder, what is the first morning that the full Irish is going to be? Everything's great. It's just not happening, is it? Flybury says, who are your favourite Arsenal YouTubers, broadcasters, almost entertaining? Deluded, Highbury Squad, Cannon. Let's get in the comments because we've done this before. I always forget. I don't watch a lot of Charles Watts. And I like Gunner Blog. Who do I? There's someone I watch who I'm not sure yet as well. But they'd be like I think Deluded's the one I'm a member of. Oh, and listen, the Mr. Arsenal podcast. I love the Mr. Arsenal podcast because it isn't just about the men's team, which I think is something that I'm kind of regretful that I don't know enough about a women's game. But yes, so definitely check that out. Miss Melina when she's making videos, love her work. Christopher Powell. I used to know Christopher Powell. Dan, lived in New Orleans in my 20s, early 30s, went through some of the same issues you mentioned. Thank you for sharing part of your story. Thank you, man. There's a lot of us about. I get it as well because, I mean, it's definitely not something I'm proud of, right? It's definitely not something I'm proud of. But it's something I went through, something we all went through. For whichever reason, there are a lot of people who made sense of their lives and needed a little bit of inebriation. Wow, so losing the League Cup decides who wins the league. It's a thing, isn't it? Everybody was having this conversation. I didn't feel comfortable at the conversation before the League Cup final. I was like, do you think it will have a massive impact on who wins the league if Man City beat Arsenal? No, I don't think it does. If I could throw that question back to you, do you think now that this team have lost the League Cup final and watched Cherky posing, lying on the ground, watch the City players go up and get their medals, do you think that's incentivised them to play harder? Or do you think their confidence is shot? Frankly, I think even if their confidence is shot, I think they could still win 4 games, which I think will be enough. But people just want to make a story out of Arsenal, Learn something new every day. The ones, I forget something new every day. The ones that are still genuine, not sponsored, and keep high engagement with the chat, that's very few around. Yeah, there aren't that many of them. That's why I love Deluded. There is no kind of, he has loads of different people on, loads of different, I think he's even had Lee on. He's definitely been on a stream with Lee, where Lee started cracking on to some girl that was on there. He's a bit cringe, man. The Gooner channel at Burkamp Wonderland. Oh, so Burkamp Wonderland, I haven't listened to it in ages, but it was on Spotify. And Highbury Squad every day. I just think Sophie's amazing, and I know she gets a lot of shit, and it's getting silly. People giving her shit. Like, don't, I can't get it. It's like people taking the piss out of Charles Watts, and he's just such a lovely guy. What are you doing? It's not the 2070 days trophyless, another trophy not won, bad football, 25 comps not won. What's not? What's your point? Like, and do you really? Do you know what? Is anyone else starting to get a bad feeling that this guy might be the same as? Mate, just I know. We've heard it. I know we know how many days it's been since we won a trophy. The bad football thing is, you lot weren't chatting about how we played bad football when we were outscoring every other Arsenal team in the Premier League history. you were talking about how it's all about trophies. So now that we're on the verge of winning the Premier League, can you chill out for a bit? It was a shit day, but I think we're going to win the league. Come on, you Gunners. Exactly. Burkamp Wonderland should have many more subscribers. World isn't fair. No, it absolutely isn't. But let's get the word out. I have to confess, I went off it very quickly after finding it, but I keep meaning to go back to it. Very, very happy that you guys. I might do a poll actually. I might not on the chat, but I might do a little thing of just want to find out what everyone's listening to and watching. I can't even say that. Football Italy, Arsenal Bergkamp, football it Corley. That's in. It's not usually I get stumped, but that's a great. Des, great to see you, man. Arsenal Bergkamp Wonderland. So I think Bergkamp Wonderland's winning it at the moment. The Mr. Arsenal podcast, 100%. Made me a massive fan of the women's game. This is what's happening to me at the moment. And I've been. Oh look, I've got to mention him now. DJB. I watch DJB a lot. I'm an older guy, right? So DJB, great to have you here. May not agree with some of the stuff, but we say respect, always respect. It is. You know, we are the same tribe, right? I loved over Christmas. That was one of my favourite experiences watching a live stream. You and Normski talking about the good old days, playing out. You know, like, but I'm an older guy. I think I always check in on DJB. Always great to have you here. Thank you so much. And it is about, you don't have to agree, but it's this thing where we're all starting to get into, or we were talking about earlier, the beefs. See, I can use young people's language as well. The diss tracks and the beefs. When it gets really personal, it's just pointless. I know, well, DJB, I really hope you are I hope we're both at a parade. I hope I see you and I can buy you a pint, because I think you're an absolute legend of YouTube. I honestly do. I've been watching ABW for over a decade now, and they've never gotten the rub of the YouTube green. They do quite well on Spotify, though, don't they, Bergkamp Wonderland? I don't know, that's how I found them. I haven't seen them. I just haven't seen them. I don't know what they're doing wrong. But, like, I trust you guys. If you all like them, then there's something to it. I would definitely give them a watch. I'd expect the team to win all our remaining games after losing the League Cup final. There is no other correct response from the team and no other correct expectation from fans. Do you know, that's a good... And they have been really good at bouncing back. And it is a shame that we don't have a game... There hasn't been a game sooner. And the Southampton game, I don't know who's going to play in that. I really don't. Like, looking at it now, if these players genuinely are injured... Although Miles Lewis-Skelly and Ethan went... Oh, I totally... Just for a moment, I forgot we fucking loaned Ethan Wanyeri out to Marseille, which was a mistake, and I think you're all admitting it now. I skipped Highbury squad today because Canton was on. I do you know what? I actually listened to it. I went for a bit of exercise. I was thinking of you, Jose, because he's a little bit... He does come off a little bit smug at times. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that, are they? Like, even Tom Canton's probably admitted that. But it was a little bit... Yeah, no, it wasn't her best show. But was there another show as well? Bergkamp Wonderland is gone missing. DJB. Gluminati are never happy with anything around Arsenal. The rest might have saved us and bring us back fresh. DG is very good and balanced, but has the passion. I think he's brilliant. I'm so glad he's been nominated for an award. I think he's genuinely in a space where, I mean, he produces a huge amount of content, works really hard, and always manages to stay calm and not get drawn into it, and talk sense. Like, that's as rare as rocking all shit, isn't it? Original ABW was great about 10 years ago. So when did I would have heard it around 5 years ago. Would have been after all the years it's been running. Yes, thank you for posting. Jose, you're an absolute legend. Thank you for posting that. I listen to DJB a lot. Chill show. Love soaking up the Arsenal history. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, That's what I loved about it. It was one of my favourite. I had a few. I think I was on the rum and coke. So I was sitting here listening. Like, you know, when you're laughing along, chuckling along, just a really, really great vibe. Just talking about the good old days. And you know, I think the great thing about football is that it expands the generations. Older guys like us, younger guys. You know, although you know. Last Sunday, I was being told I was old. I don't get it when young people who like teenagers think it's an insult to call someone old. You don't get to be old being a fucking idiot, you know. It's like I wear it as a badge of honor, my friend. So many beefs. You'd think these kids could hit their protein targets and actually make some gains. And the thing is, right? It's like, I mean, as younger people, I mean, like, I'm surprised when young people flock to this kind of nonsense. I mean, but then I was thinking about this today. You know, when you're very young, you can't see how full of shit some people are. Danny holds down the fort ABW. I'm definitely checking it out. Sophie from Highbury Squad is the most smug there is. Lied about going to Anfield. First thing asked to Shane smugly as if he an Arsenal fan, said Henry didn't play at the Emirates, etc. Oh, this is such a thing, isn't it? First of all, what are you trying to say? That Sophie's not an Arsenal fan? Fuck's sakes. I get when you can think someone's smug and you can just not like someone. That's all right. That's your prerogative. Lied about going to Anfield. I have no reason to doubt anyone who said they went to Anfield. There's about 400,000 people there, wasn't there? I didn't go to Anfield. But I watched her ask Shane if he was an Arsenal fan. It's a fair question. The guy just fucking complains all the time. All the time. Literally all the time about Arsenal, and so she said it as a dig. I'm fairly sure, but I give her the right to say it. Like, I mean, have you seen Shane in the morning? All he does is go in on people. When we beat Atletico Madrid 4-0, his first thing was, "Oh, Christian's ruined it for me." It's like some people are just fucking miserable, right? You know, and so when you're on I'm not into going on streams with other people. I'm not saying I've been invited and I turn them down, but it's not really for me. We've got a lovely little pub here. I don't want to get into an argument with someone. I don't need somebody coming out. Oh, what year did we play that? And who played for the? I went to a shit ton of Arsenal games. I've been an Arsenal fan since 1983. But there's times where people ask questions I don't remember. So that whole thing about said Henry didn't play at the Emirates was the obviously forgot that he'd come back, right? So what? See, like it becomes this thing that Shane does where he's like, "Oh, I know more than you do. I'm a bigger fan." All right, be a bigger fan. I don't know. I've got a life as well. What do you want? Sophie would chuckle at that. It takes a lot of skill and cunning to get old. It does, though, man. It really does. This show and Latte Firm I like best. Brad. Brad was impatient. Oh, man. Oh, Curtis Shaw, always on the fence, but not a bad channel. I had, I know he didn't take it too personally. I once did a video about toxic Arsenal fans, and I was really pissed off because they were homophobic, and it was really rankled me a little bit. But actually, I really like Curtis Shaw. I think I think he's an intelligent commentator of Arsenal Football Club, and I always respect that. If I don't agree with you, that's fine. In fact, I no problem disagreeing with people. I think the thing that always makes me laugh is when I get called an Arteta sexual or something like that, because I haven't got that strong an opinion on Mikel Arteta. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'd love to. I think most of the people I know and respect that can at least say that if he wins the league, I'll be happy. I'm very impressed with myself. But thank you, by the way. Brad was impatient. That's a really nice thing to say. I don't watch as much Latte Firm as I used to. But again, really good content. I don't watch as much content as I used to, which annoys me. But I am definitely giving a Bergkamp Wonderland a listen to. I'm very impressed with myself for not getting myself killed through some unfortunate or stupid circumstances up until now. I'm trying to think if I've been close, but yeah, not that close. I've been all right, actually. Sophie has been to the Skywalker Ranch. Let that sink in. What's a Skywalker Ranch? Oh, the Skywalker Ranch. What is the Skywalker Ranch? I think, listen, you know what it is? Some people just hate, right? Some people hate everybody. But if you're the sort of person who thinks, I mean, like, you know, everyone has their opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. I just wish that most people who didn't waste their entitlement by not forming it intelligently. That's all. The money penny choking on our kit sponsors made me cringe. That's choking at the highest level. Is that when he did the That was when he couldn't answer any questions. Oh, about the yes, yeah, no, that is embarrassing. The way he's on live, I don't know. That's the sort of thing I could imagine happening to me. And you get home and you go, I fucking knew all the answers to that. But again, I don't think there's anyone really saying that Moneypenny isn't an Arsenal fan. It is such a childish thing to do. You're not a real Arsenal fan. I'm a real Arsenal fan. I'm a better Arsenal. There's a strange sort of narcissism, which is antagonistic at narcissism, where you seek to make yourself look better by having other people look bad. I see a lot of that. Actually, just making someone else look shit does not elevate you in the eyes of anyone with any sense. But I really like Moneypenny. Is it Alex Moneypenny? I know it's Canon. I really like him. His hair does give me the ick, I've got to be honest. But, like, you know, who cares? Dan, I know you're good with AI. Any chance you could do a skit with Arsenal chasing the title with the Great Escape? I love it. Yep. I'm actually working on... And when Zanzi's feeling a bit better, I hope to get his vocal input. But we're doing it's going to be a regular series of the Adams Arms, which featuring some... I'm kind of going absurdist on the humour. So there's lots of stuff. I'm enjoying my week off. I'm creating loads. I don't know if you caught the video earlier of SPERKTA, which stands for Strategic Progressive Undermining Regression Competitive Tottenham Results and Expectations. Too much time on my hands. But I do like the Great Escape theme. I just don't know how it ties in, because this feels like an inevitable procession to the title, doesn't it? Dan Victor is killing it. International break. Sean for Sweden now will take it up a notch for us as well to run in. We need to find... I think he's just got to be absolutely buzzing, hasn't he? One thing to score a hat-trick... Was it Friday? Was it Thursday? Friday? To get your team through. This was the big one. 2-2, and he scores in the 88th minute to send Sweden through. Obviously, I'm gutted for Poland, etc., etc. But come on, Victor Jokkers. He's having a time of his life. I just hope in a couple of weeks or a month or so, he'll be lifting the Premier League trophy in his first season at Arsenal. Makuzi says Curtis Shaw is a quality commentator. I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. He definitely knows his stuff, man. He definitely knows football. Meda used to say forgot more than he... Meda used to say forgot more than he remembered. I definitely think there's a point in your life you get... It always gives me a bit of a fear. I really can't remember someone's name. Well, I can't remember. This is typical. I can't remember what it was. I couldn't remember yesterday, but it was like really. Oh, yeah, it was a type of mushroom. I couldn't remember the name of. George. She. The only time I've been on screen with Sophie, I was talking about, you know, the Glengarry Glen Ross, which is my favourite film, and it's a play by David Mamet, and she was straight away, I worked with David Mamet. I was like, bloody hell, what have I been doing in my life? So that's George Lucas's compound. Mate, can you imagine? He must have some Star Wars memorabilia on there. I'd have to look that up. Is it famously a place... Is it where he actually lives? Because Makuzi wants to know that. Des Moran said, one might not like every Arsenal content provider, but they love and support the club, same as I do. Need to give everyone credit and respect for what they do. Absolutely. Well said, by the way. Yeah, and everybody's got their own choice of what they watch. Shane's great and entertaining. He loves the club. He just can't stand Arteta and knows, like most of us, keeping Arteta is short-term gain for long-term pain. Yeah, but that's an opinion. I get it. I can't say I 100% agree with him. What I don't like, though, if you see, you're saying Shane's great and entertaining. I see a lot of nasty, vitriolic ad hominem going in on people like Igal, and he does the same voice for Igal as he does for Arteta. But listen, Shane, and whatever works for him, he's he's up every morning doing that show. He's got a great. I mean, he's shot up and great. He's doing something right, and he knows his football as well. But everybody gets to choose who they like and who they don't so much like, and he's on my list. It should be understood that in any fandom there are varying levels of knowledge the fans have. Yes, absolutely. And I'm not doing a fucking exam to prove I'm an Arsenal fan. It's just silly. Give the Football Takeover a listen, Dan. They're a fine Gunnar cohort as well. Plus, they have an in the know in between them who supposedly is the Football Takeover. I might actually have. Are they on Spotify as well? Some fans only became fans yesterday, for fuck's sakes. For a very real sense, they haven't been fans for 4 decades and lived the history. Yeah, but you know what? There's a point where everyone gets to be a fan. And you don't have to have been a fan for 4 decades. I can't believe I have been. I can't believe it's been 22 years since we won the Premier League. That is absolutely ridiculous to me. I remember it as if it was yesterday, walking out, just walking. It was a beautiful sunny day. We'd just beaten Leicester 2-1. They'd set off all the fight. Nowadays, you'd expect it, but on the day, they set off all these fireworks and not fireworks, cannons, confetti cannons, and they did it was the last day of the season. It was a beautiful summer's day. And then I just remember walking to Finsbury Park, and my mate Sean found out that his first nephew, he's got one nephew and one niece, his nephew had been born, and we were like, well, that he'll be called Unbeatable Jack. To think that he's 22 years old now and still hasn't seen us win the league. Just be glad Arsenal are getting new fans. There was a time we couldn't find a fan that started supporting last year in the middle of the Well, listen, actually, Boy Tendio, I went to school in West Hampstead before moving to Gospel Oak, which is a bit nearer. But West Hampstead is still North London. It's almost, it's almost walking distance. And there were no Gooners that I can remember in my school at all. They always used to take the piss out of me. West Ham fans, Liverpool fans. To be fair, I wanted to be a Liverpool fan, but I didn't get a choice. So there weren't a lot of Arsenal fans around. I think it all started to change in '89. But there is this undercurrent of Arsenal fans that are always in the woodwork. We're always about to erupt out into the streets and celebrate this victory. And I remember, not so much in '89. I don't remember in '89, but I remember very well in '98 when we won the league. And everywhere in North London, cars honking, and it's brilliant. But yeah, this fan base of ours is huge, and I love the fact that it's such a massive fan base. We've got fans everywhere, 1 million fans in Indonesia, fans in Africa, fans in North America, fans in South America. There's a huge Arsenal contingent in Brazil. That tells you everything you need to know about how great we are. If everyone who has a channel, could just stop throwing shit at each other for a minute and just go, it's brilliant, this club, isn't it? It really is. We're blessed. Because might not be happy with the way it's gone the last 22 years, and you'd be a bit weird if you were overly happy with the last 22 years relative to our years before that. But we've got so much in our history. We're in every conversation. We were in the 30s, we were easily the best team in the country. We changed football thanks to Herbert Chapman. The 50s, we won a league at the end of the 40s. The 71 double, only the second team in English history to win the double. The 93 Cup double, I think we were the first to do the domestic Cup double. But Sak Arteta, what's his name, will probably be like, no, actually, me. Yeah. But we've got, whether it's being the Invincibles or doubles or just so much about being an Arsenal fan is wonderful. I may not agree with all he does, but I do appreciate Shane's investigative work and Simpsons memes. I watch his show just to see who he catches slipping. It is true. He's one of them, innit? Where I haven't seen that many of the Simpsons ones. It seems like the same one all the time. And I'm not convinced that he's good at the accents. And also, if I'm calling him out on something, and I'm not, Shane doesn't watch his channel. He has been in the chat once, I think, but I'm sure he doesn't watch his channel. But if I'm going to call him out on something, he doesn't have the same energy for calling out Ireland's lack of standards. obviously, I gutted. I think most of us who have Irish family are gutted that Ireland aren't going to be at the World Cup. Really bad on penalties as well. It was really gutting, but they never seem to watch he never seems to watch the Ireland games and dig anyone out. Just saying. There was a very funny skit when a bemused-looking guy said, "Yeah, but Arsenal's still top of the league, right?" Thanks. Yeah, that was. That's me. Do you know what? Like, you have to say, it is just a bit bewildering. It's never been like this. I'd never had social media when I was going to the football in the 90s and in the early noughties. So used to go to the pubs afterwards. Used to go to Rowan's, because for £1 in, you could go straight in and there'd be a seat at the pub, at the bar, and you watch people bowling. It was good. But yeah, in all those pubs outside, like after a match, everyone, if you've lost, it's a bit pissy. But then you have a few beers and you put it all to right again. George Lucas has serious money. Yes, he does. He does. That is serious money. He's a billionaire. Put down that coffee. That's for closers only. Yeah, that is easily my favourite part of the film as well. Put the coffee down. Love it. Maybe Bezos. Yeah. Wouldn't you love to see, Zuckerberg, Bezos, two of these guys just toss a coin for each other's money? That'd be like. But also, do you think maybe once you've got $1 billion, you could just slow down? Do you know it'd take you 32 years to count to $1 billion? And maybe some sheiks from the Middle East, those are the only people that can realistically tell George Lucas to sit down. But even then, if you've got fuck you money, which is what you're talking about, no one can tell you what to do. It's like, I don't have that level of money. I'm not sure, Dan. Most seen them doing YouTube lives. I'm not sure, Dan. Most seen them doing YouTube lives. Okay. I'm definitely going to check them out, though. I'm checking out all of these, because if you guys are recommending someone, I'll watch it. I think it changed in 1971 when Charlie George scored that wonderful winner to win the double, mate. I was literally 2 years before I was born, but of course I grew up on the history of Charlie George. Still, a couple of times in my life I've actually seen Charlie George. It was about 6 months ago, walking around Highbury, and I walked past him, cool as you like, and I said to the person next to me, "That's Charlie George." And he went, "Who?" And I was like, "Oh, like a proper Arsenal legend." Does he still do the tours? I don't think he does he? But Charlie George. From the terraces to the pitch. That 1971, where he's so tired, he just hits it from miles out, goes in, and then he just lies down. Oh, mate, what would you give to have a Charlie George moment like that? That's the pinnacle, isn't it? A few words for new Tottenham manager De Zerbi. Pretty cult status in fan and coaching circles, that guy. Tough ask ahead of him, but his job to tell the football team she's beautiful as Arsene said. Do you know what's fascinating? I'm really glad you brought this up, Charles. Great to have you here. My favourite thing about De Zerbi is, obviously we loaned him Ethan Wanyeri because he's got so much respect from other coaches. But it was when Barcelona loaned Ansu Fati to Brighton, and I was like, what? Because I really wanted us to loan Ansu Fati. A player who had the world at his feet, was mercurial and wonderful, exciting Barcelona player, and then had an injury, and Barcelona very much mishandled that injury and caused him a compensatory injury on the other side, on his other leg, and he's never been the same since. And when he went to Brighton, I was like, oh, this will be amazing, watch him go. And it didn't work because he's still too injury prone, kept being injured, and I hate to think he might never turn into a great player, because he really was. But that's when you suddenly realise Ansu Fati has connections, and if teams like Barcelona are happy for you to loan their superstars, he's just not going to have time to do that at Tottenham, is he? And also the problem at Tottenham doesn't seem to be recruitment, because as I said before, I think they've got a good squad. I mean, it might not be a squad. I don't cheer any of them, but I like Palhinha. I would have taken Palhinha. I like Xavi Simons. And I know everyone's going, oh, he's shit, though. Actually, I think Xavi Simons is a great player. Just like I think Florian Wirtz is a great player. It just might take you more than 6 weeks to get used to the English game. I think that might be true for Gyökeres as well. It's our club and we're a serious outfit. I couldn't really ask for more trophies, sure, but there was a point and our elite status was coming into question. Yeah, man, do you remember when that breakaway league was mooted and it was embarrassing because we weren't even top 6 at the time? I remember thinking, God, does this have to happen now? But now we've got status. Arsenal are only relevant. Oh, here we go. Arsenal are only relevant now because of Arteta. Criticised years for being so soft and unable to win ugly. People will look very silly when Arsenal win the league. Gengaris won. Great to see you, man. They'll just pivot. They'll just say something else. And like you're already seeing it now. I'm going to read one out in a moment, I think, where people go, yeah, but actually it's the worst thing that could happen to Arsenal winning the league. Because, you know, what it'll mean is that people think Arteta's a good manager. And you go, well, don't you have to be a relatively good manager to build a squad that can win the league? No. He's got away with it. It's like, don't give him credit for anything. But I think people who are... I don't know. I think they're so niche. The rabidly Arteta out brigade, most fans will... I mean, we had Carl Walsh on here. I love Carl. Knows more about films than anyone else and loved doing film shows with him. But even he was like, you know, I might have been wrong. There's nothing wrong with... Intelligent people can say, I might have been wrong. There's one way you know that somebody's really intelligent, if they occasionally say something like, maybe I got that wrong. Time for UK media to get their keyboards and pens and throw out some words to praise to Foden and Palmer with the same enthusiasm do Saka. You're on fire, Charles. Do you know what? It is like even City fans now going, what has happened to Phil Foden? Because this is what I was saying on Sunday as well, so I'm really glad you mentioned it, because when people say, oh, Saka's not very good, he's not as good as Foden. We had that for a couple of years. And then Foden dropped off and Saka's still going. And then they go, well, he's not as good as Cole Palmer. And now Cole Palmer. I mean, apart from anything, we could do an entire show on Chelsea players wanting to get out of Chelsea. Perhaps we will. I've got time. I'm probably going to do a show on Thursday or Friday because I'm hoping Zanzi will be fit. Love Arsenal since I was a kid. Liked not running with pack. Was only 2 of us on the estate in Dublin. Most were Liverpool and United. Yeah, that's how it was. You know, it's ridiculous. I grew up in Kentish Town. You grew up in Dublin. Actually, I mean, we had such a strong Irish contingent. I'm surprised that there aren't more. I'm surprised for you, man, because like we had the period in the late 70s where it was great Irish players, and obviously Chippy Brady that stands out. But you know. I like it when Niall Quinn played for Jack Charlton for Ireland. He used to call him Arsenal because he couldn't remember his name. Here we go. Did you know that Arsenal has a dating show now? Far cry from what the club used to be. Everything's a far cry from what the club used to be. Sack Arteta, save football and arse. How old are you? Everything's different, man. Like, there didn't used to be an internet. So, a dating show. Listen... Did you know Lee Gunner's selling hooded tracksuit tops for 114 quid? The world's changed, man. Nick Fadley, I clicked the like and I liked it. I hope you did click like. I think we're probably doing really badly for likes because I haven't had Rosie here for a while asking you guys to like, and I don't do enough of it. Does statistically make a difference if you don't ask people to click like, they don't as much. So just do it now. Let's get it over and done with. I'll give us all a moment. We'll have another moment in a bit where you can do it. But great to see you. And Thomas W, 1887. Great to see you too. Bosnia, carry Herzegovina to the World Cup. Absolutely brilliant. That's my favourite. You've just come in, like straight in. That's quality. Well said. Richie Calafiori might be devastated. Hope Mikel can channel the player out of him in the run-in. Obviously, that's what he gets paid for. Am I not right in saying that that's the second time in a row Italy have failed to qualify for the World Cup? I was watching a great deal of Schadenfreude. I don't know what it is, but I just... Because they broke our hearts in the Euros, isn't it? So, I don't know. Italy not in a World Cup, it's not the same, is it? We'd say that if Holland or Italy or Spain didn't qualify, it's just not the same. FA Cup final 1979, 7 Irish players walked off the pitch at the end with winners' medals. I wonder who named them. Oh, God, don't do that. Oh, I was 6 years old. Was one of them Stapleton? Chippy. Did O'Leary play? I'm really struggling, man. I really I think yeah. Italian shame is not extending up to 12 years. Basically, what Juventus doing, poor lesser Juve players in the national team. Although they had Retegui up front, and who's the other player they had up front? So they have a better attack than England. Looks like. Just heartbreaking. Bastoni gets sent off in the first half, and yeah, just brutal. Is that the third time in a row that Italy have failed to qualify for the World Cup? Is that right? Really? Wow. And then win the bloody Euros in between. Third time they failed. Sandeep, if a top gooner and a bottom gooner met on the Arsenal dating show, would be hilarious. Do you know what I might have to do? Blind date, blind drunk. Do you know what? That's one of the reasons I don't like people like Lee Gunner's content, because who comes up with phrases like top gooners and mutants? Who does that? Who divides their own fan base and starts name calling? It's just so pathetic. Oh, I love to ask Jose what did you get delivered, man? What was it like, and what are you about to eat? Because I know you're going to eat something that's going to make me jealous. I'm not eating till tomorrow, so it's nearly there. Third time Italy failed. It is mad, isn't it? A massive club like Italy. Nations club. A massive nation like it. I mean, when you think of all the players they've given us, the Baggios. There you go. We can all agree that would be funny. All right, Brady, Stapleton, O'Leary, John Devine. Oh, Rice. Right, yeah. Nelson and Jennings. Jennings. See, I wouldn't have thought of Jennings. How do you feel about Pat Jennings? Pat Jennings was spitting into his hands, no gloves. I remember Pat Jennings. He was my keeper. I think he's the first one I can remember. He was a hero, and then now, because he's basically Tottenham through and through, isn't he? Still working for Tottenham in his 80s. Oh, the Bob Gooders are mad at our song too. Anybody know what that's about? No. Do you know what's the North London Forever? I'm taking it you mean. I get it. I saw Lee Gunner going in on that. I think it's because he's not from the area, and I like that we have a song that unites us all, and that we sing and the hair stand up on your neck, and it's a part of the game now. I like the atmosphere. But it has resonance for me because I know the places he's talking of. I know the places he's talking about, sorry. The Cali. And that is life on North London. He was going to the sauna that the brothel that pretends to be a sauna. I used to walk past that on my way to work every single day. And Lee Gunn was going, it shouldn't be right. Shouldn't be singing songs like that about that. Makes us look bad. It's like, first of all, that is what that bit of North London's like. Oysters and Arthur's Caff and gangsters and... man, that's just North London. It's not about being proud or not proud of it. It's just that's what it is. It's where we're from. Enlighten us about the Irish connection to AFC. Why so many people present in the 70s? Why AFC could not secure the best ever Irish best then? Why the representation declined in the modern era? Well, it kind of... I mean, North London... See, my grandfather was Scottish and my grandmother was Irish, and I sort of, in West Hampstead, just the West Hampstead side of Kilburn I grew up, and it was Irish everywhere. It was just Irish everywhere. So, I mean, I think of... where they were born. David O'Leary was born in Hackney, but then went to live in Ireland. So I think the connection is that, like, my granddad was a Catholic Scot who just didn't want to deal with the sectarianism, so he came down to London. One of the great things about Arsenal Football Club is we have a proud Irish tradition, Scottish tradition, that we're cosmopolitan. that everybody is Arsenal first and whatever else you are after that, and you can fit in. And we didn't have the discriminatory practices of some of the other clubs. We didn't have the nationalist fervour in the fan base of some of the other clubs. So there was a melting pot. So it was North London was built by wave after wave of immigration. You know, the Irish, and the Scottish. My granddad worked on the railway lines. So many that built the houses and everything about the London that I grew up in was built by, Irish, Scottish, Caribbean, you name it. And so I think, as to not capitalising on the subsequent Irish, I'm trying to think who's the best player that. Chelsea had Duff, didn't they? He was great. I'm trying to think. We had Niall Quinn, who's after that first massive wave. Trying to think who the biggest Irish players after that were. Because you've got Andy Townsend, who calls himself. A lot of players who played for the Irish team were kind of. I would qualify to play in the Irish team. No, I wouldn't, because I'm shit at football. But you know what I mean? Like, if I was not shit at football. Blueberry muffins, cinnamon raisin bagels, mate, barbecued pulled pork, Starbucks frappuccinos, orange juice, milk and eggs, also single packets to mix for my wall. Mate, off that list, blueberry muffins, cinnamon raisin bagels, and barbecue pulled pork. How do you eat your barbecue pulled pork? Do you have it in you don't just have it, you have it in bread, right? Like, oh man, it sounds good. Fuck John Definer. Pat was shovels for hands, never dropped a ball, caught everything. He could, that's what I remember as a kid, just thinking, you can hold a football. That's what we're talking about. Hey, sweeties, Chris Nix, 5656. How are you, mate? Yeah, nice. Groundsman were all Irish. All my family went to work in London, and they'd go watch Arsenal. Yeah, I think of us as the Irish team, as the era I grew up in. But it is North London. There's so many Greek Cypriot, just Turkish. It's so cosmopolitan, and I think I love that about our club the most. I love that, like I said, no one cared. You went and stood in the North Bank, you were an Arsenal fan. Didn't have to do a pop quiz to prove it either. Sophie, you'd have been safe. George Best. Now, well, hang on. George Best was Northern Irish, anyway. And he preceded that group of players. And he was, I think, I don't know. I mean, every club that didn't get George Best, he was a wonderful footballer by all accounts. One of my mates once picked him up at an airport. As close as I've ever got to him. Ooh, Slice Sex. What's up, everyone? Great to see you. A lot of countries' football team is based on political affiliation. Do you know what? This is a very good point. Really interesting. Because I'm reading Inverting the Pyramid again. I think it's about the second time I've read it, but I have a terrible memory, so I can read books more than once. And they're talking about Puskás team that was basically torn apart by in Hungary, and lots of Real Madrid. I don't know how true it is, but it had that affiliation with Franco. A lot of, in Germany, you've got St. Pauli, which are known as a sort of left-wing anarchist club. We don't really have that, do we? Am I missing something? We don't really have that. In obviously East Germany, there were teams that don't exist now, communist teams. The Hungary side that first beat England and humiliated England did so as a triumph for socialism. Politics in football's a bit shit, though, isn't it? On a toasted buttered bun with 2 pickles and extra sauce. Okay, barbecue sauce and the pickles on the side, right? Like, you don't need the pickles in it, but that is good food, good eating. Honestly, gonna have to get you to do a food video. Is a religious divide of fans and Arsenal tier really true? No, I mean, okay, no, I don't think it is. Catholic and Jews separate affinities to both FC and Tottenham. No, I maybe it's because it predates me, but I know that my grandfather was not into any of that and would not have been as avid an Arsenal fan if he thought there was any of that. I have never seen it. This idea that Tottenham fans are there's more Jewish fans support Tottenham. There aren't. There are more. There's no. I have lots of friends who support either side from either religion. I've never seen it. Yes, there are some shit chants that get sung. I've heard them, not at the ground. Not since the early 80s when I first went, and there were some horrible chants across. People always come up with awful chants, but no, I don't think there is a divide. I have never known any kind of religious divide as an Arsenal fan. I've never seen any racism. I haven't heard any. I mean, I was really surprised to hear the Chelsea fans are still singing songs about the IRA and things like that. Just never heard it, never seen it, not part of it. And no, I don't think there is any divide between fans of Arsenal and Tottenham that are cross religious reasons at all. But let me know if any of you've had different experiences. I've just never ever seen it. Never seen it at all. I mean, the hooligan element of Tottenham co-opted the phrase "Yid Army." They took it, and apparently had been used derogatorily about them. But I never saw that, so I can't speak to it. I'm sure it probably happened, but before my time. The Man United scout Harry Bean spotted George Best first. Arsenal didn't have a scout in Belfast. To be fair, after George Best, it wasn't like there were a lot. I mean, Gillespie was the only other Northern Irish player I can think of. Am I missing something? Yeah, Rangers and Celtic, that's just mad. That's why my granddad left. It wasn't just in the football, obviously. Sectarianism, he used to say he hated the fact that people would ask you what school you went to and they'd know whether you were Catholic. And then it did. It was divisive. I mean, we saw what happened in the Troubles. It is ridiculous how hate leads to death and the worst kind of aspects of human nature. And obviously, it's still there. It's still alive in Glasgow Rangers versus Celtic, but not nearly as much. We've had players who've played for both now, which was unheard of in the 80s. Mo Johnson, wasn't he the first Catholic to play for Rangers? I remember thinking that was mental. But me and my friends were Celtic because we grew up Catholic, but I've never had any strong feelings about it. I know I probably don't care about both teams equally now. Modern game changed and the net was spread wide around the world. Thank God. Isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? If you think about it, like, we're having a conversation with people who love the same things that we do. It could be, you never know where someone is. I absolutely love that about Arsenal. I think as a younger person, I probably would have thought it was a bit, you're only a fan if you go. But I love it. Listen, I'm proud. I'm a proud North Londoner. I'm proud when people, the Arsenal and, like some real fans, like we've had them on the show, like Gary, Melina, and like so many know so much, love the Arsenal so much. It's brilliant. There's some great spoken word by Alan Moore called Highbury Working. As an American Arsenal fan, it really... Wow. Well, the Alan Moore. That's getting looked up. Alan Moore is one of my all-time heroes. Do you mean the comic writer? Alan Moore, who wrote V for Vendetta, Swamp Thing. That Alan Moore. Flybury, please tell me, because that I would definitely... Highbury Working. Surely he's like a Gloucester fan. Isn't he? He's a Bristol City fan. He's like Anthony. Where's Anthony as well? You haven't seen him for a bit. He was on Sunday. In Cyprus, I would go to communist versus nationalist games. Wow. Was it as defined as that? I suppose it must have been. Who would you be cheering for? You don't have to say. Inverting the Pyramid is a fine book. Read it too. That and Nick's Fever Pitch is mostly the football literature I've read. Plus Arsene bio just for nostalgia. The Arsenal bio was a bit bit weak, wasn't it? I mean, Arsene was hoping for so much more. He's such a great man. Like, no, there's a few. Do you know what I might start doing? Actually, I might start putting up what I'm reading week by week, because there's some absolutely great book of football quotations on my desk. But Romford Pele, I was giving that another look at. What was the other one? Oh, the numbers game. I love anything that talks about data. I did not. Alan Moore is one of my favourites too. Same Alan Moore. He has some amazing spoken word. Where do I find that? Where is that? Is that on YouTube? He's just brilliant. I almost went back to that. What do you call it? No, I've lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right. BBC. You know, Maestro. They have this where you pay an annual fee. It's quite expensive, and you can watch these videos. But Alan Moore does one on writing, and he talks about how you're part of a long shamanic history. And I've just read a fantastic book on the KLF, which I can only hugely recommend. And it mentions Alan Moore in there quite a lot, and his ideas about magic. Just love Alan Moore so much. He's in the closet, our Alan. What, is he a closet Arsenal fan? Nah, he'd be loud and proud, man. Alan Moore being interviewed by Stuart Lee, also who I love. We're on the same page here, Thomas. Absolutely love Stuart Lee. Who is the only player to play in the North London Derby, the Merseyside Derby, the Manchester Derby, and the Old Firm Derby? Des Moran, you absolute diamond. I love a good question. Is it going to be... It's not... I was going to say... honestly, that's such a good question. AJ! Been a minute. Up on in it. Hop on in. Free drinks all night now that you're here. Great to see you, man. This is going to bug the shit out of me. Who is the only player in the to play in the North London Derby, the Merseyside Derby, the Manchester Derby, and the Old Firm Derby? Nah. That's insane. That is a great question. I think I've even seen that before and just can't remember the answer. Nick's Fever Pitch can be the book that can make any person into an Arsenal fan without even watching one match live or telecast. Would you agree, Dan? I like Nick Hornby a lot. It's hard to say, isn't it? Because I obviously loved it because I lived it. The film's fabulous. Colin Firth, absolutely fabulous. I know they made a Fever Pitch in America as well, but what? Baseball? What? The thing that always gets me about, and Sophie actually, I know Jose didn't watch it because he couldn't do the Tom Cannon bit. But tell you what they're talking about. Sophie did mention she was talking about the Rory McIlroy documentary, but she was saying I love any sports any sports books and books about sports. I do as well. So much drama, so much. But if you were writing a book about football, you'd never think to make the ending as good as Fever Pitch, right? Because that was just absurd. It was just like, it's up for grabs now. That's fucking brilliant. Is it true that we have 11 players out, AJ? I think it's... Can we all, by the way, before I get into this, this is the question. I'm leaving this here for a minute. Who is the only player to... let me just double check. But I'm going to leave this there because I think, honestly, this is one of those questions that I don't know anyone's going to get tonight. But it's a great question. Who is the only player to play in the North London Derby, the Merseyside Derby, the Manchester Derby, and the Old Firm Derby? I should imagine it isn't even possible. I can't. So, to come back to this, AJ says, is it true that we have 11 players out? So, as I understand it, we can go through this together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. I've got, and there might be others because you don't know how Gyökeres is feeling after being the hero that got Sweden to the World Cup. Martin Zubimendi played only 13 minutes for Spain and apparently has a niggle or discomfort in his right knee, I think it's described as. Piero Hincapié was injured off for Ecuador. Leo Trossard was not in the Belgian squad precautionarily. Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka were sent home from the England squad. They didn't pull out. They turned up. They were assessed, and it was felt that they could probably, given a couple of days, it would have been all right. But actually, they're better off not playing just in case they aggravate something. Noni Madueke, as you would have seen if you watched the game, and if you did, God, how boring was that game? Injured off, knee injury. Eberechi Eze is injured. We know that because he has a calf injury. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks. William Saliba, I think, was substituted, but I'd have to look that up. But he's definitely left ankle niggle, not thought to be super serious, but still. Martin Odegaard, God knows, man. Maybe at this point, all of the people saying, all the conspiracy-minded people saying, oh, he's just trying to save himself for the World Cup. He might not go if he's not necessarily going to get selected at this rate. Gary Magalhaes had pain in his right knee. A lot of knee injuries. Jurien Timber, we know, was injured with an ankle problem, and Mikel Merino had surgery on a foot. So they're the players we have injured. Of those, we're expecting... I'm not sure. The ones we're expecting to be fit, Jurien Timber, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, William Saliba and Martin Odegaard are all expected to be able to play against Sporting at least. Unsure of Zubimendi, Hincapié, Madueke, Eze we know won't be fit. Magalhaes and Mikel Merino we know won't be fit. So the truth is I think we have 6 injured players. No other club has such literature fan based, at least not in English. One of my great loves is George Orwell. Huge George Orwell fan, and he wrote. There's suspicions that he might have been an Arsenal fan because he wrote about the visit of the Soviet Union team and they played at Highbury. Some of Moore's spoken word, including Highbury Workings on YouTube, full title Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theatre, the Highbury. Mate, you have just given me such a lot to look forward to when I finish the stream. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Highbury Working by Alan Moore. Is it? Yeah, I'm taking it as good. It's got to be good, isn't it? He also has one called The Birth Call. I didn't know that there was spoken word Alan Moore out there, so... Who's put Shearer? You're not answering a question with Shearer, are you? No, don't be silly. Shearer never played for either Manchester side or either London side or either Scottish side. He only played for Blackburn, Southampton and Newcastle. Hint, started at Arsenal. Take your time. I already know the answer, but only because I found... I have been asked this before, and I found where the note was, and I've looked it up. So I'm going to double check. Actually, let me just double check because I'd hate to be wrong on this one. I don't think anyone's going to get it, if I'm totally honest. I don't think. No. No, I think I was wrong. See, it's good to check before you open your mouth. So I have no idea who this is. Cole, did Cole go to Scotland? Don't think so. He would have played in the North London Derby. No, he didn't play in the North London Derby either. No idea. No idea at all was a brilliant question, isn't it? Bentley, North London Derby, yes. Didn't play for either Liverpool team, did he? Current Man City assistant coach Toure didn't play in Scotland. Did Kolo Toure play in Scotland? Oh, man, it's not. Hang on a minute. Kolo Torre. Oh, this would be a brilliant one if this is right. I'm just checking. Oh, hello. Oh, my God. I would not have known that. It's quite incredible. He's right, isn't he? What a fantastic question. You've absolutely nailed that question, by the way. Des Moran, 89. You absolute legend. Massive, massive respect for that question. I think he's right. I think it is Coca-Cola Torre. Colo Torre. I think it is. Yeah, I think Arteta maybe does being coach count. No, but he never played. Oh. Well, he didn't play Manchester Derby. Yeah. Stuart Bell. Yeah. You had me there for a second. Hand of Arsenal has provided an update, Dan. You can look it up. I'm going to. But I just, to be honest with you, I was more pissed off with Gabriel Bonlahor and the general narrative that Arsenal are pulling these players out of internationals when they're not, are they? All of the people I listed, with the exception, I think, of Trossard, went to their international duty and were considered not fit enough, apart from the ones that obviously weren't even able to play in the League Cup final. And it was Charles 87 is right. Wonderful, love it. How do you? That's a brilliant question, by the way. That's a brilliant. I had a completely wrong answer written down. Current Man City. Well, I should. That's a great pub quiz question. It's like, who's the only man ever to score a hat trick in a cup final and save a penalty? If people really think we have 11 players out, then they should just wait and see what happens in the next match. Yeah, I think, like I said, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, these are all precautions. But the next match is Southampton. God help us if we lose that. There'll be an avalanche of anger. Rice, I understand he played a lot, but rest come on way too much and overplayed. Rest come on way too much and overplayed. What do you mean? Rice, I understand he played a lot, but the rest come on way too much and overplayed. I think I said this earlier, but I think Zubimendi has played almost as much as Declan Rice. Saliba's played way too much. Gabriel and Saliba, if it wasn't for the injuries they've already had this season, which they may have been rushed back from, to be fair, no? Well done, Charles 87. Well done indeed, man. Hand of Arsenal provided an update, Dan. You can look it up. I will. Arteta. Hey, hail Caesars. Beware the Ides of March. Have passed now. You're fine now. Oh, which reminds me. Hold that thought. Just got to send everyone a quick message. Traditional, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what? I'm going to, for those of you, some of you may need a comfort break. I have no idea. But I'm going to play the Spurkter video again for you all.
You were certainly not appointed to succeed. However, you are expected to provide the illusion of progress, and you removed it. It was more difficult than anticipated. With the players available, we lost some difficult matches. You lost all of them. Even Ryan Mason achieved a higher win rate.
I'm happy to step in again if required.
We do not seek failure. Failure ends hope. Our project requires instability, confusion, progress without outcome, hope followed by inevitability. Do you understand what happens to this project if they stop believing? We cannot allow relegation. This project is at a critical juncture. Who do you propose to take over now? We have admittedly had to act quickly, but we think we may have the perfect candidate. Highly volatile, idealistic, with previous success but no silverware. That's good. I don't want another repeat of the Postecoglou debacle. I think we can say that's highly unlikely with this hire. Roberto De Zerbi, an excellent choice, and no doubt not a cheap one either.
It's, you know, it's the little things that make me happy. It's the chicken with the blue hair. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It is Kolo Touré, one of my favourite ever players. How's he at Man City? Can't we just kidnap him and get him back to Arsenal? Did Wenger miss a trick not getting Kolo onto our coaching staff way back? Yeah, that's mad. I was literally hadn't read that when I just said that. Yeah, I think Wenger missed a trick on a few of them. On a few, actually, you know. Kolo Touré. Maybe Pep pisses off. Maybe we can entice him. You can't be loving life in Manchester. Good things seem to happen around. Last thing I'll say on the spoken word is treat it like an album. Some tracks are better than others. I'm going to just drink it in because I love Alan Moore. Sack Arteta to save football and ours. They weren't pulled out. They were sent back. The players are shot to pieces. Tuchel admitted to this. He didn't say they were shot to pieces. He said that, but we do agree. They weren't pulled out. They were sent back. Yeah. So, well, some of them were sent back and some of them played and picked up injuries. Martin Zubimendi played. Hincapié played. Madueke played. And so I get it, but, you know, Martin Odegaard didn't go. William Saliba played, I'm pretty sure. I hope I haven't just made that up. Let's have a quick look. Did William Saliba didn't even get a few minutes at least? I'm going to feel silly if I was wrong. And people go, you're not a real Arsenal fan. You didn't watch every... Yeah, say what you will. God, looking at our squad, do you know they're coming to the right age now? They better win this fucking league this year. It's going to be too embarrassing if we don't win this league now. I will save us, sack Arteta, whatever the hell your name is. I'll be right there with you if we don't win the league this year. I want him gone as well. But if he does win the league, can you just be a bit chill for a bit? Because it's not easy to win the league. Why isn't that coming up? Right, okay. Yeah, William Saliba did not indeed play for France. That was my mistake. Well. Well. So yeah. So I mean, he was sent back. Thank you. Relegate them, baby. De Zerbi, I beg, bro. Relegate Spurs, and I will carve the statue myself. Well, we'd have to have a statue for Igor Tudor. We could have a statue of Tudor. Oh, Ryan Mason deserves some credit. Thomas Frank, Igor Tudor, and Roberto De Zerbi all holding hands, running towards us. I know you're in here. Since we're doing trivia, here's one from me. Who is the only player to have won the Champions League, Premiership, UEFA Cup and FA Cup and been relegated from the Premiership? I'm so shit at quizzes. Who was Owen? No, Owen. Was he relegated? Did he go down with Newcastle? Hang on a minute. We're doing a trivia. A great trivia question. Who's the only player to have won the Champions League, Premiership? Yep. UEFA Cup, and it is Michael Owen. I bet it is Michael Owen. Bloody hell, boy, Tendy is straight in. Didn't Arsenal say Kolo was his greatest achievement? Does everyone know the story about Kolo's trial at Arsenal? That's a fabulous story. I don't want to repeat it because you've all heard it, but if you, I'll do a little. I'll mention it in the next if you haven't. It's absolutely brilliant. I'll clip it up. Played for Celtic. Everyone forgets. We better haven't got many seasons left. Yeah, we better. Stuart, don't say that. But I know how you feel. Hang on. I've just realised. I hope I'm not missing the. Do you know what? I think I'm missing the bloody game now. Let's just get this on here now. We've got... Oh, it's coming up. Croatia versus Brazil. Is anyone else watching that? Grazie. Brazil. We will be playing Croatia, so we do need to know how good they are, but I just love football. And Nwankwo Kanu. Nah. Nwankwo Kanu. Who did he win? He didn't win the Champions League. Did he win it with Ajax? that true? And who was he relegated with? Portsmouth? I prefer Michael Owen. Is he really Wanku Kanu? Shit. You guys are absolutely rocking the trivia. See what I mean about Moneypenny getting the questions wrong? Shirt sponsors and shit like that. I can't remember stuff. Do you remember, like, you didn't become a football fan just so you could answer trivia questions? Also, I know some of you have been late tonight. It's brilliant to have you here. Make sure you clicked like, huh? Let's get to likes. I'm not asking for much, am I? An occasional like wouldn't kill you all. Where are we? So, yes, I will be watching Brazil. Let me know if you're going to be watching Brazil. Grazie. I'm going to quickly check who is in the lineup. Brazil. Samba. I haven't watched enough Brazil. So, they're about to play. Oh, it's they're not kicking off for another 30 minutes. That's good. Okay, so Cunha's playing, Pedro's playing, Vinicius Junior, Danilo, Casemiro, Enrique, Ibanez, Marquinhos, Pereira, and Santos. Modric, bloody hell, Modric. How is he now? Modric has to be 40 years old. Jesus. Nearly 41 years old, and he's still playing for his country. I can't believe it was Nico Robertson. It's Kano. He's already said. I bet Robertson would fit, though. No. Nico Crenshaw, relegated with QPR. Quarter pound of rubbish. I'm really excited. Is anyone else going to be? No one's answered my question, or maybe the yes Dan was to the question. Brazil versus Croatia. Surely a better game in store. I'm going to be trying to make some money sports betting this one. I'm not endorsing betting. I'm not saying you should bet, but I am saying I bet. And we've already had a good conversation tonight about vices, so I don't expect any of you to have imagined I was purely virtuous. I'm certainly not suggesting you bet, and it's not cool, it's not big, and it's not clever, but it is. Oh, my goodness. Portugal are beating the United States team 1-0. Argentina, might have to give that a bit of a watch. Then we're going to the second half of that one. Canada are about to kick off against Tunisia, which I can't watch, but Brazil, Croatia is on the TV. So, it's gone very quiet in the chat. Are you all scrabbling around to find the channel you can watch the Brazil game on? What do we think is the likeliest outcome when Brazil take on Croatia? I'm probably going to bet on corners in this one. Brazil, they've started to do, but there was that period where Diniz, who I thought was a great manager, took over, and it wasn't going very well for them at all. But, qualified fifth behind Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, and Uruguay. Everyone gets it. Basically, it's only Chile, Peru, and Venezuela that didn't qualify, so it's a bit silly. But, yeah. They got battered by Argentina last year, about this time last year. And it's something about Brazil, isn't there? I think we all love Brazil. Lost. So it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to stick my neck out and say, no, it wasn't Kanu. What? I thought it was Kanu. Well, you said yes, Dan. Can we get some clarification on that? But I would love to stay and find out. But it has got to that point in the evening now where, even though I didn't got to get up early tomorrow, I do want to watch this this Brazil game. So, I'm going to bid you adieu, or bid you bonne nuit, and leave you with, I can't leave you with the same clip. I've just played the same clip too many times now, haven't I? But let us instead go out with, well, it's a Tuesday club, so I'm going to play that out. And I'm going to wish you all the very best evening you could possibly have, what's remaining of it, on the next day. We're back here at least on Thursday and probably on Friday as well, because there's no better way to spend your time than here at the Adams Arms, a hostelry for the hopeful, a place where football can still be fun. And I'm going to have a quick look now to see if I can find any more beef between the Catch and Liga. Maybe he's doing a live stream as we speak. But thank you so much, guys, for being here. Like I said earlier, if you haven't clicked like yet, then, you know, just do. And until I see you again. Hang on. I have to make sure it's all done. Until I see you again, be lucky.
And dust settles, moonlight sharp like a blade. Tuesday club door swing, cool cats invade. Rosie at the helm, a queen with no crown. Snaps fingers once, the whole room quiets down. Jackets leather, glasses frosted with steam. Laughter ricochets like a well-oiled machine. Dice rolling shadows, secrets drip like wax. Stylish assassins, no need to relax. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Corners dim where the whispers spark flames. Stories unravel but nobody names names. Vinyl spins and beats bounce off the walls. Saxophone crying like the street light calls. The regulars know it's not just the scene. It's a haven for the sharp, the slick, the serene. Chatter like bullets ricochet through the air. Rosie's eyes sharper than a lioness stare. No drama, no mess, just rhythm and flow. Tuesday's the day, the city, let's go. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. I got the Tuesday Mets, no light, that's the Tuesday Mets. Rosie rules, no fools, no scrub. This ain't no party, it's the Tuesday club. Tuesday nights where the ice don't melt. Every word spoken, every vibe felt. Rosie rules, no fools,